Billy is cornered by Sally, and Victor's unexpected family revelation. According to Friday, March 28 spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Victor Newman will surprise his family with a revelation while Billy Abbott is cornered by a suspicious Sally Spectra. Since Sally will sense that Billy is holding back, let's start by talking about her. Sally will probably push for the whole truth about Aristotle Dumas, and will challenge Billy in some way. Billy might eventually confess that he wants to win back Chancellor with Aristotle's assistance. Given that Billy is obviously still focused on getting even, Sally should be even more alarmed by that news. Billy might counter that it's just about setting things right, but Sally should still be concerned about the dangers of confronting Victor. Sally might worry that Billy will be exposed, even though Billy thinks Aristotle will handle the Victor aftermath and keep him out of it. Victor might become enraged and destroy Abbott communications if Billy and Aristotle's collaboration is revealed. If Sally later discovers that Billy blabbed to Phyllis Summers first, there may be an additional level of drama to this whole situation. Sally won't be pleased that Billy lied, and then told Phyllis in front of her, because he told her he didn't want any secrets between them. He'll do something with Victor that will astonish his loved ones. We'll see what Victor divulges, and the potential problems that may arise, because it seems like he will make an announcement that leaves his family in shock. According to other Y&R spoilers, Jack Abbott will become more and more concerned about Tracy Abbott, and will forecast the threat that might still be present. Some people might worry that Martin Laurent, sometimes known as Alan Laurent, won't give Tracy up easily. Jack will promise to defend Tracy at all costs, because Martin might cause further chaos, in an attempt to maintain his romantic illusion. Tracy might go to Paris, even though Jack will want to keep her as far away from the city as possible. Martin might also make it back to Genoa City, that is, provided he boarded a plane at all. Nobody can completely rule out the possibility that Martin is ready to make another daring move, while hiding at a motel on the outskirts of town. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Martin will undoubtedly have a few surprises in store, so we'll keep you updated on all the surprises that lie ahead. Diane covers Phyllis's intel, and Tracy panics. Here are the spoilers for Thursday, March 27, 2025's episode of The Young and the Restless. Fans can anticipate Tracy Abbott confiding in Jack Abbott in tomorrow's episode. Diane Jenkins Abbott maintains her public persona. Additionally, Billy Abbott tells Phyllis Summers about his most recent idea. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera, as you continue reading. The intuition of Tracy Abbott. Fans may anticipate Tracy's intuition yelling at her on Thursday, March 27. To postpone her trip, Tracy did leave Alan Laurent a note. She provided an ingenious cover story, but she fears Alan could be Martin Laurent. Of course, it's also possible that it's actually Alan, but it's possible that he has a split personality, or is adopting characteristics from his deceased twins. The fear of Jack Abbott. At any rate, Tracy had doubts about Alan's phone alarm cover story. Tracy then worries that she's going to marry a monster after speaking with Sharon Newman. The author kept Sharon's suspicions to herself. Tracy contacted Jack after Sharon departed, and he arrived immediately. Tracy will unload what she's found, and Jack will worry about her safety. Abbott Diane Jenkins covers. According to tomorrow's spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Diane will provide coverage. Perhaps all of this has to do with Diane's enigmatic improvements for the Abbott manse. But something more fascinating must be happening. Perhaps Alan didn't actually visit Paris. Was Diane duped by Alan/Martin into allowing him to hide out at the mansion in secret? Perhaps Alan says he has a very hidden surprise planned for Tracy. The discovery of Phyllis Summers. She'll make a big discovery with Phyllis. Billy is lying to Sally Spectra, as he tells her about his most recent scheme. Fans may remember that Aristotle Dumas blew up Billy's phone when Sally caught him doing it, but he said it was only to congratulate him on his new venture. Billy also mentioned to Sally that Dumas was on his side, but he left out specifics. Billy will, however, provide Phyllis some information when they next meet. What has Billy promised Dumas in return for his assistance? What type of hazardous situation has Billy found himself in? And will he ultimately require Victor Newman's assistance? Victor claims that Dumas is a serious opponent, so keep an eye out. After speaking with Sharon, Jack discovers a distraught Tracy in tears. Wednesday, March 26, 2025. On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Sharon assists Tracy in making connections regarding Alan. Nikki consents to assist Jack, and Kyle and Claire play hooky. Kyle and Claire wake up together in bed in a suite. She slept past her alarm, he teases. She appeared so content that he was unable to wake her. "I'm late for work," Claire yells. He gives her a kiss unconcerned. She applies the brakes when he tries to make out. She is happy that she packed a backpack, so she would have clothing. For the next time, or even better at his house, Kyle asks her to bring a few items to the suite and leave them there. He can discuss closet space with his mother. When he claims he's serious, Claire smiles. Does it make her anxious, he asks. She enjoys it. Kyle responds, so do I. He wants to demonstrate to her daily how unique she is, and how unique this is. There's a method for him to accomplish it now. Kyle attempts to convince her to call in ill and remain. Claire is persuaded to block off the outside world, at least for today. He is aware that she has been working tirelessly, and is most likely ahead of schedule for the day. They kiss and pillow fight after he orders room service and Claire chuckles, saying, "You are incorrigible." Jack astonishes Nikki. When Nikki walks into society, she bumps into Jack. He invites her to come along and give him an update on Chancellor's progress. He's ecstatic for her. She wonders if that's the case, or if he's acting since they're buddies. Jack narrows his eyes at her, perplexed by her tone and the remark. Jack Nikki YNR. As they sit, Nikki explains that while she is sure Jack is pleased for her, Billy makes things more difficult. They discuss how the tension isn't making her want to drink again. Jack acknowledges that she is performing at her best. Nikki goes over replacing Billy again. Jack reminds her that while he enjoys any opportunity to scold the mustache, this isn't the right time. Nikki is shocked that he didn't take advantage of the chance to scold Victor. Jack acknowledges that, despite his disapproval of Victor's method, he is okay with what Victor did. It forced Billy to examine himself closely. He believes that his brother has at last come to terms with himself and his past grievances. Otherwise, that would never have occurred. He is appreciative of Victor's heinous behavior. Nikki hoped to hear him express gratitude to Victor. Jack notes that Nikki is content at Chancellor, and that Lily is likewise back where she belongs. If Victor lets her pursue her interests, she will soar. All's well that ends well, Nikki muses. Not exactly, Jack responds. The only way to restore harmony between their two families is for Victor to leave Claire and Kyle alone. It won't be simple to persuade Victor to leave Claire and Kyle alone, Nikki cautions. He believes he is protecting her, but she detests his stubbornness. He will simply push her away, Jack says. Victor doesn't want him to be happy, he says, and if that means his granddaughter is collateral damage, then so be it. He needs Nikki's assistance in standing up for the young couple. Nikki exclaims, "You are so romantic, Jack Abbott." She is all for promoting genuine love, but she will be the one to deal with Victor's fury if everything falls apart. Since when do you fear Victor's anger? Jack asks. Kyle tells Claire in their suite that before they can eat breakfast, they must inform the employers that they will not be returning. To send SMS, they grab their phones. Nikki assures Jack at society that she can manage a few tantrums and will stop at nothing to protect Claire and Kyle. As their phones ring, Jack informs them that Kyle is unable to come into work today since he ate nasty clams. The coincidence makes Nikki cluck. Claire appears to have consumed the same clams, and is unable to enter either. They choose to overlook this and grin at the idea of youthful love being holy. YNR Nikki. Claire fears they're being nabbed when she and Kyle receive texts in their suite that read, "No worries." Kyle feeds her and says they should take advantage of it. "More please," she smiles, and he does. They discuss that she is playing hooky for the first time. She is taking a bit too much pleasure in it. She hedges, maybe every now and then. Kyle teasingly says, "This can't happen again." He yanks her into his arms, and they begin kissing before falling onto the bed. Nikki is happy that she and Jack get along at society. He will always tell her the truth. She will also always be truthful with him, even if it means betraying Victor's trust. Jack jokes. Nikki hopes that won't be the case. Phyllis gives Nick and Summer an update. Summer and Nick question Phyllis about her relationship with Sharon at the GCAC. She claims they spoke, but she has to be pushed for further details. According to Phyllis, they discussed their love for their children and their intention to put their frustrations on the clinic floor and go forward as a couple. So friends, Summer thinks. Not friends but not enemies, Phyllis remarks. Nick is rather pleased with them and says, "We don't have to label it." Summer concurs. Phyllis regrets allowing hatred to control her life. She claimed to have used it as a source of strength to defend her family, but ultimately caused harm to those she cared about. Summer makes an effort to minimize it, but Phyllis isn't willing to be absolved. She was consumed by it. Nick believes that their joint efforts to resolve this situation are brave. According to Phyllis, looking into the past and seeing all of your hatred and anger staring back at you is like looking into a huge mirror. She wasn't prepared to see her actual self. Summer encourages her mother not to be too hard on herself, because she is not only accepting responsibility, but also making an effort to mend her connection with Sharon. Nick concurs. Although he had a part in it, and was in the midst of things with her and Sharon, he saw how it affected them both. Phyllis admits to having served as a referee numerous times. It's baby steps, she cautions them, so don't designate her for sainthood. Nick has observed how she and Sharon have been affected over the last few months. They're all for it if it brings them calm. Until the person who committed this to them is apprehended, Phyllis will never be at rest. Nick and Sharon are informed by Phyllis that their conversation the other day was very beneficial. She was saved by Sharon. She tried everything in her power to save her when the time came. You saved her life too, Nick remarks. Phyllis always believed Sharon to be a decent person, but she failed to see it in her. She will acknowledge that, like the others, Sharon was a victim and wasn't acting rationally when she set up Daniel. Summer believes Sharon must have been quite receptive to this new perspective. It did, Phyllis responds. She acknowledges that she continues to experience nightmares. All of this fear still lingers. By taking charge of her emotions and managing what she can, Nick reassures her that she is doing everything correctly. Phyllis reiterates that she must see the person who did this, tell them they lost, and look them in the eyes. At Crimson Lights, Sharon emerges from the kitchen to see Tracy scowling thoughtfully at the counter. After what she and Phyllis went through, Tracy is shocked to see her. Sharon has to go to work. Tracy is thankful that they are both safe at home. Until the madman who abducted them is imprisoned, Sharon won't feel secure. What kind of person could do something so heinous is beyond Tracy's comprehension. Sharon admits that she continues to experience nightmares. Tracy says she's sorry to bring it up again. Talking about it helps, Sharon tells her. Tracy is open to hearing. She'll have coffee with Sharon. Sharon pours 2 drinks and sits down with Tracy. According to Tracy, Kyle informed them that she and Phyllis were imprisoned at a shuttered mental health facility. With the venues their captor has chosen, Alan would have a field day. Sharon had the same thought. The kidnapper must have been a psychologist. It makes sense because the mind games they were made to play were clinical, as if someone skilled at behavior manipulation had created them. Tracy seemed troubled. According to Sharon, he or she was all about playing God and manipulating them. They just heard their voice via an intercom. They never saw their face. About the mental games, Tracy inquires. According to Sharon, they had to play the game and solve puzzles in order to survive. All of this is really worrisome to Tracy. Sharon reveals that the only way they could save each other's lives was by correctly solving the puzzle. What kind of monster does something so sick just for their own amusement? Yells Tracy. They were only lab rats in a psychological experiment, according to Sharon. They appeared to want them to find a solution to their problems. They believed their abductor might have known them, because they had highly detailed information about their past. Sharon bursts when she sees Tracy's engagement ring. Tracy claims that she and Alan are engaged, but it's difficult to feel joy when others close to her have gone through such a terrible experience. The psychopath expressly targeted them, Sharon tells her. She hopes that Tracy isn't concerned about her personal security. Tracy simply thinks it's all so weird and awful. Sharon acknowledges that lately, it's been one setback after another. She will concentrate on the positive aspects. She collaborated with Phyllis and recognized the positive aspects of each other. Tracy enjoys listening to this. Sharon informs her that they set off the alarm that set off the gas, and that they came dangerously close to death twice. Alan's phone notice said, "Remote device unexpectedly detached," and Tracy flashed to it. "Gas ejection ceased." "You were gassed on purpose?" asks Tracy. Sharon gives a nod. She and Phyllis might have perished if Nick and Chance hadn't arrived at that time. They never realized that their kidnapper had prepared for the possibility that they would attempt to break free. Taking deadly care, Tracy murmurs. Tracy expresses gratitude to Sharon for telling her tale. In fact, Sharon believes that talking to Alan about it with Phyllis would be very beneficial. Sharon is unable to psychoanalyze herself, and Tracy protests. "But you're a trained professional." Alan is so intelligent and perceptive that he might be able to assist them in apprehending the abductor. He's currently in Paris, Tracy explains. When he returns, Sharon asks whether she thinks he would make time for them. Tracy is certain he wouldn't object. Sharon believes Alan could be her lucky charm, because he helped her with the hypnosis so well. Tracy hopes they apprehend this individual quickly. According to Sharon, until this madman is removed from the streets, nobody is safe. Sharon Tracy YNR. Everyone chirps. "Good morning." As Sharon arrives at the GCAC to join Phyllis, Summer, and Nick. It may be difficult to establish this new global order, Phyllis says. Sharon inquires as to whether she is reconsidering. She is assured by Phyllis that she is prepared to make it happen. Whatever rock they went behind, Sharon hopes their captor will be fleshed out. Nick acknowledges that he was anxious to leave them alone at Crimson Lights, because he was afraid they would ruin the area. Phyllis and Sharon have experience with that, Sharon teases. The topic of conversation shifts to Tracy showing up at the coffee shop. Sharon claims that she shared some of their experiences with her, because she was so understanding. She understood that it was therapeutic, and that Phyllis would benefit as well. Alan's therapy is brilliant. He might know something about the person who took them. Phyllis wants to know when they may speak with this Alan, since she is all for getting closer to the truth. According to Sharon, he is now out of town but will return. "Wouldn't it be wonderful if Alan Loron was the key we need to help us end this ordeal?" she exclaims. Tracy leaves Alan a voicemail at Crimson Lights, wishing him a safe journey, but she is unable to visit him at this time. She disconnects and cries, "This isn't possible. Why don't you call me when you get this? I love you. This simply cannot be." Tracy is sobbing on the veranda as Jack enters. "Oh Jack," she screams. "I need you to let me know that I'm going crazy." "I am,"